James used to have a rule. If something felt affordable in the moment, it probably was. That rule worked reasonably well in 2019. It stopped working somewhere around 2022 and has been quietly failing him ever since. Not in any dramatic way, no financial catastrophe, no single disastrous purchase, just a slow accumulation of spending decisions that made sense under an older version of the economy and make considerably less sense now. The price of almost everything has shifted, but the habits people built around those prices have not shifted with them. The result is millions of people making purchasing decisions based on value equations that no longer hold, paying for things that used to be reasonable and are now, if you run the actual numbers, genuinely not worth it. This video is about 10 of those things, not because they are inherently bad purchases, but because the math on each of them has changed significantly enough that the default answer should now be reconsidered. Number 1. Food delivery apps as a regular habit. There was a window, roughly between 2016 and 2020, when food delivery apps represented a genuinely reasonable convenience. The platforms were subsidizing prices to acquire users, delivery fees were low or waived, the total cost of ordering in was not dramatically different from the cost of the food itself. That window closed. What replaced it is a fee structure that most people have never stopped to calculate honestly. The delivery fee, the service fee, the packaging fee, the tip for the driver, which is both warranted and substantial, and, least visible of all, the menu prices on delivery platforms, which research consistently shows run between 20 and 40% higher than the same items cost at the restaurant directly. The result is that a $15 meal frequently arrives as a $28 transaction before the tip. That gap, the difference between what the food costs and what the delivery platform charges for it, is not a convenience fee. It is a premium that compounds across weekly ordering habits into thousands of dollars annually. James calculated his own delivery spending across the previous 12 months and found a number that genuinely surprised him. The convenience had felt casual, the total was not. The practical alternative is simple. Pick up directly when possible, cook at home for default meals, and treat restaurant delivery as an occasional choice rather than a standing habit. The savings from this single adjustment are among the largest available in most household budgets. Number 2. Financing a new car at current prices. The average transaction price for a new vehicle has climbed to a level that puts it meaningfully beyond what the math of typical household income can comfortably support without extended loan terms that compound the cost problem. The pattern that has become normalized is purchasing a vehicle at $50,000 or more, financing it over 6 to 7 years at interest rates that add $10,000 to $14,000 in total interest, and accepting that the asset will be worth roughly half its purchase price by the time the loan is paid off. The buyer has paid $60,000 plus for an asset worth $25,000, funded through years of monthly payments that crowded out investment contributions, emergency savings, and financial flexibility. The alternative that actually works financially is a 3 to 5-year-old used vehicle purchased with minimal financing or in cash. The first owner absorbed the steepest depreciation. The mechanical reliability of modern vehicles at that age is genuinely strong. The purchase price is 30 to 40% below new. The loan, if any, is modest, and the monthly savings directed towards investments over the same period produce a compounding result that makes the newer car's appeal look considerably less rational. Number 3. Annual smartphone upgrades. Smartphone hardware improvements have plateaued to the point where annual upgrades are, for most users, entirely without practical benefit. The difference between a current flagship and the same manufacturer's model from 2 years prior is, in everyday use, almost undetectable. processing speeds that exceed any task the average person performs, camera improvements measured in increments that require controlled testing to observe. The upgrade cycle that once delivered genuinely transformative improvements, from touchscreens to cameras to processing power, now delivers iterative refinements, priced as though the transformation is still happening. Upgrading every 3 to 4 years captures the meaningful cumulative improvement while eliminating the constant payment cycle. The person who upgrades annually is spending roughly 2 to 3 times what the person who upgrades every 4 years spends on equivalent functional use. Across a decade, that difference is several $1,000s, directed towards a manufacturer's margins rather than towards anything the buyer actually experiences differently.
Number 4. Actively managed investment funds with high fees. This is the category where the math is most unambiguous and where the most money quietly disappears over long investment horizons. Actively managed funds, those where professional portfolio managers select securities with the goal of outperforming their benchmark, typically charge annual expense ratios between 0.75% and 1.5% of assets under management. Passive index funds tracking the same markets charge between 0.03 and 0.10%. The fee difference seems small expressed as a percentage. Applied to a meaningful portfolio over 30 years, it represents hundreds of thousands of dollars. The performance data makes this more uncomfortable. Research consistently shows that the vast majority of actively managed funds underperformed their benchmark index over periods of 10 years or longer, after fees. The managers are paying themselves well for results that, on average, are worse than doing nothing except buying the index. If you have a 401k, the single most financially impactful 10 minutes you can spend is reviewing what you're invested in and what those funds charge. If the expense ratio exceeds 0.25% and there is an equivalent index fund available, switching is worth doing immediately. Number 5. Extended warranties on consumer electronics. Extended warranties are one of the most reliably profitable products retailers sell, which tells you immediately whose interests they serve. The pricing is calibrated to make the warranty sound reasonable relative to the product cost while remaining highly profitable for the seller. The coverage is designed with exclusions that limit payouts in the scenarios most likely to occur. The claims process is designed to create friction, and many premium credit cards already provide automatic warranty extension on eligible purchases, meaning the buyer is frequently paying for protection they already have. The math on consumer electronics specifically shows that most products either fail within the manufacturer's warranty period or last long enough that the extended coverage never gets used. The people who benefit from extended warranties are the retailers selling them, not the buyers purchasing them. Number 6. Premium health and wellness products. The health and wellness industry has grown into a multi-trillion-dollar market built significantly on selling solutions to problems that do not require purchased solutions. The $25 smoothie engineered for optimal micronutrient delivery, the $300 activewear promising enhanced performance, the supplement protocol assembled from 5 products, each claiming to address a different aspect of cellular function, the wellness stack that, added together, costs more monthly than a gym membership. Most of the genuine benefits of physical and mental health come from genuinely unglamorous behaviors: consistent sleep, regular movement, whole food, adequate hydration, stress management. These things are not only effective, they are largely free or nearly free. The premium products layered on top of them frequently deliver marginal additional benefit at significant additional cost. James spent a month tracking his health-related purchases and discovered that he had been spending considerably more on optimization products than on the basic behaviors the research actually supports. The ratio made very little sense once he looked at it directly. Number 7. Buying a starter home in high-cost markets at current rates.
This is the most contextually dependent item on this list, and the honest answer varies significantly by geography and individual circumstances. The structural reality in 2026 is that mortgage rates have settled at levels that make the monthly cost of home ownership substantially higher than the monthly cost of renting equivalent space in most major markets. The financial case for buying, building equity, fixed monthly costs, inflation hedge, remains valid as a long-term proposition. The financial case for buying right now in a high-cost market when rates are elevated is considerably weaker than it was when rates sat at 3%. In markets where buying costs 40% more per month than renting, the rent versus buy calculation favors renting and investing the difference. Unless the buyer has a high degree of confidence, they will remain in that location for a decade or more. This is not a permanent argument against home ownership. It is an argument for running the actual numbers in the specific market and at the specific rate available, rather than defaulting to the cultural assumption that buying is always the right financial choice.
Number 8. Status spending that requires credit. This is a category rather than a single product. Any purchase made primarily because of what it communicates to other people, financed on credit. The nightclub table service, the designer item that exceeds a comfortable one-time payment, the experience purchased as content rather than for genuine enjoyment, the upgrade chosen because of what it suggests about financial position rather than because of any functional difference it provides. These purchases share a structure. The social signal they produce lasts for a brief window and then fades completely, while the debt or financial drain they create persists. The money is gone. The impression it made is not remembered by anyone who witnessed it for more than a day or two. Before any purchase motivated significantly by external perception, the question worth asking honestly is, would I buy this if nobody would know I had it? If the answer is no, the purchase is paying for a feeling that dissipates and probably not worth the price. Number 9. Fast food at current price points. Fast food's original value proposition was straightforward, substantially cheaper than sit-down dining, fast enough to be convenient, good enough to be satisfying. That proposition has eroded to the point of near disappearance in 2026. A standard combo meal at a major chain now runs $12 to $15 in most markets. That price range was until recently the domain of casual sit-down dining, food that is cooked to order, served by staff, and meaningfully better in both quality and nutritional content than factory-produced fast food. The price convergence has happened without quality convergence. Fast food costs what better food used to cost without becoming better food. The value case that made it the default quick meal option for American households has largely dissolved. Number 10. Concert tickets at major venue prices. Concert ticket pricing has undergone a structural transformation that makes routine attendance at major shows financially significant in a way it simply was not a decade ago. The combination of post-pandemic pent-up demand, platform consolidation in ticketing, dynamic pricing algorithms, and service fee stacking has pushed the all-in cost of major concert attendance well past what most budgets can absorb regularly. A ticket listed at $150 frequently becomes $230 after fees for a single evening. The alternative that actually delivers equivalent or better experiential value is live music at smaller venues, local artists, regional acts, club shows, outdoor festivals with manageable pricing. A $20 show in a venue that holds 300 people frequently delivers more memorable and intimate live music than the same dollar amount spent in the furthest rows of an arena. The experience is different, but the argument that the arena show is 10 times more valuable than the club show does not hold up on examination. None of these 10 things are inherently off-limits. Some of them remain reasonable choices for specific circumstances or specific people whose budgets make the cost genuinely inconsequential. The point is not that these purchases are always wrong.
The point is that the value equations underlying all of them have shifted enough that the default answer should no longer be automatic. The delivery app that felt casual deserves a second look. The extended warranty that seemed protective deserves honest scrutiny. The new car that felt responsible deserves the full interest calculation before signing. James's rule, if it feels affordable, it probably is, was not a bad rule for a different economy. What replaced it, after the calculation exercise that surprised him, is simpler. If it feels affordable, run the actual numbers first. The numbers on these 10 items have changed. The habits that formed around them often have not. That gap, across a year of routine spending decisions, is where a meaningful amount of money quietly goes.